Hi, Dan Bauman here with ChiefExperts.com. Today I want to talk a little bit about creating curved roads, curved sidewalks, driveways, things like that. You want them to curve around on your plan. Before we start adding those items to our plan, though, I want to talk briefly about creating those curved items. And to do that, I'm going to draw a polyline on my screen. So I've clicked on the line tool and I've drawn a polyline on my screen, just a CAD line. And you'll notice that when I click on it, so I right click on the line and it highlights, and I get three handles on that line plus a little triangle to rotate it. If you're using version 10, okay, what I want to do is talk about how you curve this line into an arc. Now if you're using version 10, you're going to use your control key. Alright, control key for 10. If you're using X1, you're going to use the Alt key to do this function for X1. Alright, so they're different keystrokes. They've changed the keystrokes in the different versions. So I'm in X1, so I'm going to use my Alt key on my keyboard. I'm going to grab this end handle right here, and I'm just going to hold my Alt key down. I'm going to bend that line into an arc. First of all, you'll notice it snaps now. It's snapping at specified degrees, 15 degrees. What I do is I could go up here and I could turn that off, turn that unrestricted angles off, and now when I grab that line, hold my Alt key down, now I can bend it pretty much unrestricted any way I want to. So I could turn that line into an arc. Now I can also add lines to that. So I could add another line to it. I could click on that, hold my Alt key down. I could bend that. I could add another line, hold that down. Okay, see how I can keep bending and I can keep creating arcs in different directions by just adding to that CAD line, that polyline. Now, how does that pertain to driveways and roads and things like that? Well, let's go ahead and choose, I've added a terrain perimeter on the plan. Let's go add the straight road. And what I could do is I could get that icon there and I could double click on it. I could change the width. I've changed it to 240 inches here. And what I could do is start drawing a road on my plan. Okay, right now I have the angles turned off. Let's lock the angles again. So there you go. So now I've added that road. If we go look at that in 3D, there's that road. Now, when I drew that road, what was I drawing? What I was really drawing was a line. I was drawing a CAD polyline, just like I drew before. And that polyline that I drew, it added this road to it automatically. Okay, that's a special polyline. That's what it does. But when you go back to the floor plan and you look at this, you'll see, well, there's no line there. What are you talking about? But if I click on this road, notice those three handles that I get right here. They're the same three handles that I got for that CAD polyline that I drew on the floor plan, that I drew before. So again, what I could do is I could grab this end handle and I could bend it. I could bend this road by grabbing it. Again, I'm going to hold my Alt key down, and you'll see that I could bend that. Now let's turn the angles back off here. Okay, see how I can bend that line that's in the center of that road. And just like I added other lines before in my floor plan, I could add more lines to that. So I'm actually adding another polyline right there. And I could bend that. And I could add another polyline and bend that. All right, so you see what I'm doing? I'm the same thing I did with the CAD polylines before I can do with roads. And you can do the exact same thing with sidewalks and driveways. So if you choose the sidewalk tool, straight sidewalk, I could draw a sidewalk, turn that layer on, hold my Alt key down, Control key in version 10, add another one to it, bend it that way, add another one to it, bend it that way. So that's how simple it is to bend roads and sidewalks in your plan. And if you open up the dialog for any of those items that you've created, you can then start adjusting the width and things like that. And you can also adjust that arc, that line, that white line that you see down the middle of your road. You could adjust that right here. Okay, so that's what you're adjusting. You're adjusting that line that's running down the center of the road and the sidewalk. That's the arc that you're creating by bending them. So there's a little tip for you about creating curved roads and sidewalks. Dan Bauman here with ChiefExperts.com, signing off.
Okay, what I've drawn here is a Dutch gable, and in this little tutorial I'm going to do the same thing to this end so you can see how I did it. I'm going to go back to plan view. Actually, I think it'd be more instructive if I could do it in a, since we're in X1, I'll do it in a camera view. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on this roof plane to select it and just pull it back. Same thing with the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a roof plane. Let's see. Okay, we got 9, 12 there. I think the rest of the other planes are 9, 12. Yeah, okay. So we'll make this tool active, left click, drag a baseline, drag it up in the direction I want it to slant, left click. I'm going to select it, grab this end, drag it over here to make a triangle shaped roof plane. Now I'm going to go back to a camera view so you can see this finished up. Okay, we'll select this side of that roof plane that I just created and connect it over there. Select this side, click on the Join Roofs tool one time, click where I want it to join. All right, next I'm going to use the Break tool, left click. Not really concerned as to exactly where I put the break, but I'm going to flatten this hip plane out here. Drag it down a little bit. I'm going to set this with the dimensions and use the parallel tool in plan view. I'm going to put a couple of breaks in these, one here, drag this one forward, back towards me. Select this roof plane, break tool, and let this snap to the end there. I didn't get a break. Let me do that again, break tool, left click. I didn't click close enough to the actual, well, okay. Being a little contrary, there we go. I'll straighten it out in plan view. But there's the basic shape. Obviously it needs a little work, so I'm going to do that in plan view. I'll take this edge here, use the parallel tool, left click. It parallels that are perpendicular to what I clicked on. Same thing to this edge here. Okay, now over here on this roof plane, let's see, what's that dimension? 1 foot 1 1/8. Okay, we'll copy that value. I don't particularly care about the actual dimensions as long as they're symmetrical. I'm going to parallel up this line here. Okay, so I want I think this is what I got the dimension from. Yeah, okay. So I guess I need to set this one first. All right, that's it. So that's the top of this hip plane. I'm going to bring it down so it dimensions from the wall here, and click on that dimension, paste that value in there that I copied before, and then the distance between these roof edges is that figure. You just set it the way you want it based on how you're going to build it in the field. I'm just doing this quickly to just show you the basic actions. I'm going to pull this line over so that it automatically dimensions from this one I just dimensioned. Paste that value in. That didn't look right. Let's see, that's, sorry about that. Okay, that, see this hip plane. All right. That looks about right. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Let me just manually dimension this here. Okay, 2'1" and 7/16. That's from outside to there. Okay, 2'1" and 7/16. I could spend more time making this tutorial, but I don't work much differently from you guys. Now, what's this distance here? That's okay, 1 foot and 3/8. We'll set that same dimension here. Control V on the keyboard. See, where is that edge? I guess it's over here. There it is. I'm going to drag it. Actually, you can just drag this over until it snaps. See the snap indicator? Now, we're part the way there. We're not finished. See, there's a rake wall over here, and there's no rake wall here. Since there's no wall underneath right here, Chief isn't going to automatically build a rake wall, so we're going to draw one in manually. I need roof planes to be referenced, so I'm going to set those, go over to the reference set, and make sure roof planes they're not by default referenced in the reference display set, so I got that set. Now I can go up to the attic and turn on the reference display. There's that line that I'm looking for, that roof line. We'll draw a wall up here. And flip the layers over so that the siding's to the outside. Then we'll zoom in and drag this over until it's just a little tiny bit away from the red line, but pretty close. Also, this wall here needs to be set as an attic wall, so since I drew it manually, you have to do these things, set these attributes here manually. I want attic wall retain, no locate, no room define. Those are the default attributes of an attic wall. Now we can overview it, and that should wrap it up. So there's the one I did before, and there's the one after. And as you can see, they're symmetric. So that's how you do a Dutch or Texas gable.
Hello, this is Alan Brown, and in this video I'm going to show how to make a 3D sign for inside or out in Chief Architect version X1. First thing you want to do is go to File, New Plan. Alright, we're going to draw 4 exterior walls. Next thing we want to do is go into Elevation View, and we have a JPEG of the sign we want to use, so we want to import that JPEG to get the shape for drawing our building. File, Import, Picture. Find the folder that you have the picture you're looking for stored in. And there it is. Okay, it's way down here, so we need to relocate that picture. Well, it's behind the wall, so let's do this. Let's just pull it down here out of the way. Now I'm going to zoom in. And we only want that sign to be about 3 feet across. So we're going to grab the corner and shrink it so that it shrinks concentrically and maintains its aspect ratio. 211, 3 foot, close enough. Alright, next thing we want to do, where to go, is we want to draw a CAD shape fit that sign. So we're going to start right here. I clicked my polyline rectangle. I'm going to start on that corner, and I'm going to click and drag to this other corner. Now I want to highlight that polyline, and I'm going to hold down the F key and grab that corner, and that will allow me to fillet that corner. And I'm going to turn off my grid snaps so that I have a little tighter control of where that corner is going to be. Again, I'm going to hold the fillet, pull it back. Now I'm going to pull it down so it just comes to the outside of where the border of that sign shows. Now I'm going to grab another corner and do the same thing right there. Now on these bottom corners, that's a half round, so I'm going to hold down the F button and just pull it all the way in until it won't go any farther. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, now I'm going to move that CAD polyline over here to the side, and you see that it is roughly the size and shape of that sign we're looking for. Now I'm going to delete that picture. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my polyline, hit the Convert Polyline tool at the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to convert that to a polyline solid. Click OK. Now go to the General tab, and I want to make that about 5 inches thick. That'll be the thickness of my sign. Go to the Materials tab. Click on Polyline Solid. Click on the gray there. Go to My Materials. I'm going to click inside here, and I'm going to click New Material. Under the Texture tab, I want to name that material Fish and Wildlife Sign. Now click the Browse button and go to where I have that sign, FWS Logo 2005. That is going to be the material for that polyline solid. Now you've got to, right down here, remember to click Stretch to Fit. That way it'll fill the sign completely. Click OK. Now we look at the Fish and Wildlife sign for my new material. And click OK. And there it is assigned my polyline solid. Click OK. And let's zoom back out. Let's pull this up a little bit higher. Now we will go to Floor Plan. We'll have to reposition it so that it sits outside of our building. It's way back here. I'm going to click the point-to-point move tool. Click here. Click there. Now just for looks, I'm going to throw a door and a couple of windows in our plan. I'm going to put a slab sidewalk right outside the building. I'm going to open that up and tell it to be top height 0, thickness 4 inches. That's good. Now we need to make the pole for the sign. So I'm going to go to my slab tool and just draw a square pole there. I'm going to tell it to be 4 inches by 4 inches. Click OK. Now there's a couple of different tools you can use to make this pole. You can use framing members, you can use polyline solids, you can use slab. A lot of ways you can do it. Now I want to open that up. And top height, I want that to be about 60 inches. Thickness, 62, so that it goes down into that slab a little bit. Click OK. Center that up a little. Now we have to go back to elevation view and adjust our heights a little bit. The picture is not showing in this view because the elevation views are a low detail view. It will only show in a rendered view, not a vector or elevation view. And if we've done this right, we should have our sign just like we want. So we want to click on the full render camera, take a shot here. There you have it. We have the sign in 3D, just like it was made for it. Hope you found this helpful. Have a good day.
Hello, this is Alan Brown. This video will cover how to make a screen wall in Chief Architect X1. First, double-click your wall tool. Doesn't matter what wall you have up, click Define. And then click the New button to create a new wall. New wall 36, we're going to rename that Screen Wall X1. We'll make this 1 inch thick. We'll go to our layer material, click on the box. We want to go down to Materials, Glass, Glass Block. Click OK. Next thing we want to do is click the Plan Material button so we can edit our glass block wall. First thing we want to do is hit Copy because we don't want to change the default glass block material. We want to make a new material. We're going to call this new material Screen. Go to the General tab. At your height and length, change both of those to 1 inch. Go to the Texture tab. For your ratio, change both of those to 1 inch, your X and Y ratio. Click OK. That's all we have to do. Click OK. We now have a screen wall. Click OK. One more OK. Now let's draw our screen walls. Take a look at it. Take a render full overview. And there you have a screen wall in X1. Next thing you'll want to do is build another wall inside it and make it a double wall that is a railing wall so you have something to nail.
Hello, this is Alan Brown, and this video we are going to learn how to set up a new layout sheet with borders and macros for dates. Okay, first thing we want to do is File, Open New Layout. I've done that, and we have a blank layout sheet. Next thing you need to do is decide, okay, what size do we want this layout sheet to be? Do you want it Arch D, which is 24 by 36, Arch C, which is 18 by 24. Typical for construction documents is 24 by 36, which is Arch D. I've already got that set up, but we'll go through real quick how to do that. First, go to File, Print, Page Setup. And as that opens up, we will have to tell Chief Architect the printer. Currently, I have my printer set up as Adobe PDF. Because I've got it set up as Adobe PDF, I have a lot of choices. ArchD is the choice I want in paper size, and of course you want to click Landscape setting. Okay, not only do you have to select the printer paper, but you also have to select the drawing sheet, and you've got to set that up to match. So it is already set up as ArchD 24 by 36, that's good, and also set up in landscape. And down in box number 4, we've got set drawing scale. Never mess with that, always keep that as 1 inch equals 1 inch. Alright, line weight scale, advanced use only. Keep in mind, if you are a new Chief Architect user and starting with X1, it's already set up for a line weight of 1 equals 1/100th of a millimeter. If you are a Chief Architect user who started in version 10 or before, if you are bringing forward a layout sheet, you've got to change your line weights. Layout sheets in version 10 and before used 1/600th of an inch as their line weight scale. If you're bringing a layout over from version 10, you've got to change it to 1/100th of a millimeter. Otherwise, when you print it out, your line weights are going to be much too fat. The line weights now have been changed to more match the industry standard and closer to actual pencil lead sizes. Alright, now we're going to click OK. First thing we want to do is to make some borders. So we're going to click our Polyline CAD box and just draw a quick border here. Then we're going to highlight each edge, and if we scroll in here, we get a temporary dimension. Let's click on that dimension and set it at 1/4 inch all the way around. Move edge. So we'll scroll back out. And I like to keep that consistent. Set that at 1/4. Okay. 2 more sides to do here. And you can also type in 0.25 if that's quicker for you. Click the bottom edge. 0.25. Alright, next thing we want to do is put rounded corners on these on that box. So what I'm going to do is go to my edit behaviors. Edit behaviors. We're going to fillet. Now I can pull this in. Now if you look down at the bottom of the screen, near the bottom right, drag to resize this object, and then it says 9/16. So let's not go quite that big. Let's go with a 1/4 inch fillet on that. And you want to pay attention because that way you see that you are filleting the same size. So go to that one, 5/16, there it is, 1/4 fillet. Come down here to the bottom right, pull it up, 3/16, 5/16, 1/4. There it is. One more. Top right. 3/8, 1/4. Got it. Alright. That one didn't work. Let's try that one again. 0, 1/4 inch. There we go. Let's check it. Yep, looks good. Alright, now we want to go back to edit behaviors, and go back to default. Okay, next thing we want to do is make another one just like it, but a little bit smaller. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to up here in the top bar, Preferences. edit behaviors, and instead of default, let's go to concentric, and we're going to jump 1/8. Alright, what that's going to do is going to allow us to copy that and make it 1/8 inch smaller all the way around. Click OK. Now we're going to highlight that polyline, click the copy button, bottom right. Now we're going to grab 1/4, and we want one corner here, and we're going to zoom in a little bit so we can make sure we just go 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to grab that corner and pull it in, and when we get 1/8 smaller, it's going to give us another polyline. 1/8 smaller, exactly the same all the way around. So right now we're consistent all the way around that box. Hit the space bar to get out of there. Okay. Next thing we want to do is I'm going to highlight. Okay, first we need to go back to Preferences, Edit Behaviors, and go back to the default mode because we don't want to continue to jump in concentrics. So next thing I want to do is make a title bar over here on the right side. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to highlight the inner CAD polyline, and I'm going to copy, but I'm also going to copy in place. So just to the right of the copy tool is the copy and paste in place. I'm going to click that once, and that'll give me another one exactly the same size and exactly the same place. Now I can grab the left side of it and pull it all the way over to here and make it about 1 3/4 inches. Now let's hit that dimension and go with about 2 inches. Okay. Next thing I want to do is divide that up into a few different segments. I'm going to do that using the line bar. Okay, first one, I'm just going to throw a few in here in different spots. Go to right there. Next one down, about right here. Next one down, about right there. And we can adjust, I just want to throw some in here and we can adjust these later. Put another one right there. I'll put another one here. And one right there. Okay. And I might take this one and move it down just a little bit. Take that bottom one and move it up just a little bit. Okay, so now we'll hit fill screen here. That's our basics. Okay, the next thing we want to do is add some text. So I want to click my text tool, and first thing I want to do is add customer name. So I'm going to put space, 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 residence. Hit cap locks. Click OK. And right now the height is set at 1/2 inch, and that's good for this, I believe. So-and-so residence. Put that right there. Okay, and it looks like I don't have my spaces set up quite right. I can take that line, move it over that way a little bit, click my text again. Okay, we should be about right for that one. Next thing we want to do is set up the date. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw another small line in right there. Hit my text tool again. Date. And what this date is going to be, and I'm going to scroll that down to about 1/8 of an inch. And that date is going to be the date that I start this layout. We're going to have two dates on here. One is the revision date and one is the date I started the layout. Okay, and what I like to do is very first thing, if I don't put this in, then I'll often forget to put that original date when I start. So I'm going to draw a leader line with text up here, and I'm going to write date. Now I'm going to put that 2 inches tall. I'm going to go to line style and put that in red. And this is going to be on page 0, so when I start a new layout, there's no way I'm going to be able to miss that. So when I start a new layout, when I open a new layout and start a plan, first thing I'm going to do, I see that date and it's going to show up really big on every single page. So that reminds me, okay, first thing I need to do is go in and put today's date in here on page 0. Matter of fact, wouldn't be a bad idea in that text to put enter date, then delete on page 0. Now, since I put a lot more text in there, we'll put that down to about 1 inch. Spread that out a little bit. Okay. Center justify. Alright. Next thing we want to do is put the page number in there. So I'm just going to take that date, because it's about the size I want, copy, paste, correction. We'll scoot that over just a little bit. Oh, I forgot. That is the page number is what we want there. So we'll open that up, change the text to page, stretch that out just a little bit, put another text, and now we're going to put in a macro that correctly names every single page. There's a lot of macros here. What we're looking for is layout page number. And there's 2 there. You can do layout page number or number of layout pages. I like to just go with layout page number because it often changes my total number of pages. And I'm going to keep that at about 1/2 inch. I think that's going to be good for our page here. Now if we hit the page up button, we'll see as every page we go up, that's going to change our page number accordingly. Alright, let's go back down to page 0. Next thing we want to put in is revision date. Scroll that back down to a little bigger than 3/8. A little bigger than 1/8. Let's go with quarter and see if that fits in there. Okay, let's move that over. Alright, that's a little bit big. What we can do is hold down the X button, the X key, grab one corner and shrink it. I want that to be just a little bit bigger so that we can so it's a little bit easier for people to see. Okay, now we want to put another macro in right here that shows date short. Okay, let's see if 1/2 inch fits in there for date short. No, 1/2 inch is a little big. So again, we'll hold the X key down and drag that, which will make it a little bit smaller. Hold my control key, bring that over here. Might hold my X key and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, now this is going to do one very important thing for you. What this is going to do is every time you open the layout page to make more changes, this is going to give the current today's date on that layout page. So when you print that layout out to PDF or onto your plotter, that is going to have the most current date. So every time you make a change, it's going to have the updated revision date, which is important because you want to make sure the subs are working off the most current revision date print. Alright, next thing we want to do, I'm going to go up here to the very top, hit my text bar. Alright, and what I want to do is I want to put in square footage calculations here. So, first thing I'll put in is main floor, colon. I'm going to go space, 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 SQ period, FT period. Then I want to hit enter, dash, 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 dash. Enter. Oops. Upper level. SQ period, FT period. Enter. Some dashes in there. Enter. Lower level. SQ period, FT period. Garage. SQ period, FT period. Enter and some more dashes. And in some areas they require what the total footprint square footage is. So we can put that if you like. Total foot. Let's see. I don't want to make it any bigger than that. Yeah, we'll do that. Total footprint would be fine. SQ period, FT period. Enter, some more dashes. And click OK. No, that's too big. Let's make that 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, about 1/8 inch. Hit enter. Alright, now let's select that. Hit center justify. We're going to control drag that up to the top. Looks like we need to take that one line, bring it down a little bit farther to about there. Okay, now it's cutting off our corners, so let's open that up and make sure the fill style is no fill transparent. Click OK. Alright. Now, every time you start a plan, that's going to have those calculations on there, but they will be blank. So you'll have to fill those in after you get the house sized. Alright. Got 2 more spaces here. I'm going to click there and add a space for directions. So the subcontractors can find their way. We'll put that 1/8 inch. Rotate it. Position to the top. One more here. Project 4, so you can put the contact information of your customer. Whether you're the builder or you're just the designer and doing it for a builder or a customer. Put their information there, whatever you want the subcontractors to see. Alright, one more step here is we need a company logo. A lot of ways you can do this. I used Chief Architect, a plan file, to create my business card. And then I am putting my business card as the logo on my layout page of the blueprints. So this is all created in a plan file. So I'm going to take that plan and I'm going to hit send to layout. I'm not going to send it, I'm not going to scale it, I'm going to hit fit to sheet. And page 0, of course, entire plan, current screen. Let's go with current screen. Click OK. Alright, now I want to tighten up my edges quite a bit here. Get it really close to where we are. And want to shrink it way down. Rotate it 90 degrees. Control drag it into place. Looks like we still have to shrink it down a little bit. Okay, let's move that over and up just a little bit. Okay, right now we've got a little bit of white out from the from the customer name, and it looks like we've got a little bit of room we can tighten our space up. So let's drag those down just a little bit. We can drag that line down just a little bit. I'm a little trouble shift selecting my my page number. I cannot select. There it is. Drag that line down. Drag our date down. Drag this line down. Yep, hit the tab button. Now we can drag our logo down. Now there's a couple of different ways you can do your logo. You can either do a screenshot of a business card, you can do a screenshot of a logo that you've already created on Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. You can you can scan something that somebody else has already done for you and bring that in as a JPEG. Looks like I need to get a little bit smaller here to make sure we're inside the inner border. Alright, that looks good. Now we'll grab that line. Or you can do it the way I did it and create a logo using CAD tools on a plan file. Alright, so that looks good. Now, next thing we want to do is File, Save As. Now the place we want to save this is in My Documents, Chief Architect X1 Data. Go into Templates. And we're going to call this We're going to call this 24 by 36 template with borders. Click Save. Now, if that is the standard size that you always want to use for your starting layout borders, next thing you can do is go to Preferences. under General, New Plans, click under New Plans, the first one is Plan Template, the second one is Layout Template. Click Browse under Layout Template. And under Templates, we have 24 by 36 template with borders. Click. And that is now, and then you click OK, that is now your default layout template. Let's close that out and double check by seeing if it works. Close out that plan file. File, New Layout. Untitled Layout, there it is, open to page 1. I've already got some notes on here on page 1. Go down to 0. And you know the first thing you want to do is you want to enter your date, then delete this on page 0. And then you can start entering your information. There you go, and I hope that was helpful. Next video, we will try to convert this already made layout to different size sheets. Thanks. Have a good day.
Hello and welcome to ChiefTutor.com training videos for Chief Architect. In this video we'll be discussing how to make a 3D symbol for Chief Architect. And I'm going to use a free program from Google called SketchUp, which I'm sure maybe most of you have used before. I've gone ahead and drawn in a railing which I'm going to create for Chief Architect. And you can do this in Chief 10 or X1. I'm going to be using X1. Okay, so here's a railing I've created with my draw tool, and you can go to SketchUp.com and find that there's many training videos on how to use SketchUp. So here's just a simple one I've created, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to post this symbol on the website where you're watching this video right now so you can use it at your will. Okay, so once you have the symbol created in SketchUp, the steps are pretty easy. All you need to do is go to File, Export to a 3D model, and choose AutoCAD DWG. Go into the options, make sure it's a low version that both Chief versions can pick up, like Chief 10 or Chief X1. I'm using Convert to AutoCAD 2004. I'm going to call this let's call this Railing. And I'm going to hit Export. And it's going to export and make my 3D AutoCAD version. Click OK. Now I'm going to close this because I don't really need this anymore, and I'm going to go ahead and open up Chief Architect. Now if you go to Tools and under Symbol you have Create Symbol Wizard. I'm going to click on that, click Next, and I'm going to choose Millwork since I'm making a wood design, but I'm actually going to color it metal. I'm making something in the Millworks family, so that's really important. So let's click that first. Here I'm going to go to Browse, and I'm going to find the Railing 3D that I've created, and it generates it on into the system for you. And it makes a little diagram here and shows you what it's done. So that all looks good. If it looks a little funky, you can choose double-sided. That'll make sure it gets all the faces in the plane. I'm going to call this, let's call this Iron Railing. Sounds about right. Everything else looks good. You can manipulate these changes if you'd like. Next, and click Next, Next. The height, the width, everything seems fine. Click Next. I can go ahead and color it because it's got this default wood color I don't like. I'm going to go into Colors and I'm going to choose this charcoal. Click OK, Next. I'm also going to add to library right away because I know I want this symbol in my system. So I'm going to say Finish. And under My Millworks, under this tab, I'll click OK. And I'll notice it is in there. So if I go to Millworks and My Millworks, there's that railing. Also, the symbol wizard appears over here, so you can actually put it in your plan. I don't really need it. I can click it once, put it in there, but I'm going to delete it. I can go right to my stairs and start installing and using this cool railing. Okay, so I'm going to put up a small set of stairs there. Then I'm going to hit spacebar, double click on the stairs, open up the staircase specifications. Notice how it says make reach to what I have no idea. Okay, so I'm going to go to baluster, click library, my tools, iron railing, OK. Everything else seems fine. Click OK, and let's take a look and see what we've created. And it should generate out your set of stairs with that railing in. Perfect, huh? That's pretty simple and painless. Now let's complete the process. I'm going to double click on the stairs. Go ahead and go to the style. See where it says runner? I'm going to increase it to 30 inches. I want to put a runner, carpet runner going down. Let's go ahead and choose round for Newell. Let's go to handrail and let's pick a round one as well and make that complete. I'm going to take this down to 1.5 inches. Line style I like. Fill style is fine. Materials, let's go ahead and start picking out materials. Carpet. Let's get a nice carpet runner, shall we? So we'll go to flooring. Carpet. This one seems good. Newells I'm already set in my color, so I don't have to worry about that. Railing, I do want to match all the others. So I'm going to go to gray, graphite. Riser and trim. Let's do like a wood solid mahogany color. Nice dark color for the main part of the stairs. Support wall is the wall underneath the stairs. Don't have to worry about. Tread. We're going to get that in as mahogany as well. Underside is white is fine. And click OK. So this should complete our set of stairs using Chief Architect. There we go. What do you think of that? Works pretty good, huh? That's been training videos importing with SketchUp files, making 3D items for Chief Architect version X1. And again, you can download my symbol free right below you on this video page that you're viewing now and utilize it in Chief 10 or X1. It might even import great with 9.5. Okay, talk to you soon, guys. Thanks. Hello and welcome back to ChiefTutor.com, training with Chief Architect version 10. In this video we'll be going over the basics of their electrical tool. So let's go ahead and click on that. We'll notice the childs pop up to the right. You have your outlets, your 220 volt outlets, your lights, switches, your connections, your auto place, and of course the library. L would open up the library and go right to the electrical department. But let's go ahead and just go through some of the basics here. We're going to close this, center that up. Here I have drawn up a basic bathroom and kitchen. And if I click on the electrical tool, what it defaults as is my outlet. And if I click an outlet near a wall, it will appear on the wall just like this. It also appears on the wall in 3D, which is nice. We know where it is. We also have the option to click on it and use this auto place outlets. And when you click inside a room, it deciphers the room and places the electrical accordingly. Now, it doesn't do it 100% accurately, but look what it did do. It raised up the electrical to the height where it needed to be and lowered to where it needs to be lowered. But it doesn't always understand where windows and doors might be, so you just have to double check yourself. As well as the cabinets can be adjusted to these windows. Not an electrical issue, but you get the point. You know, I want it to be the same. You know me, I'm perfectionist. 40, 41, 40, 41. Okay. So the electrical is placed just fine. And now we can go and we can actually choose the 220 volt where we might need it and the lighting. But I'm going to continue with this auto place. And I'm going to go in the bathroom and click one time. And notice what happened. It automatically gave us a GFI, which is now standard for, I believe, every state in America. As well as it gave us a light fixture. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the window, the wall cross elevation. Take a look, and there it is. It gave me my GFI, and it gave me my light switch, or excuse me, my light fixture. Okay. If you were to click next on the light fixture, you can also place light fixtures in the ceiling, or if you get it close to a wall, it turns into the wall mount. And of course, if you double click the electrical tool, you have that option to change what the default is for what version of electrical you're working with. So I'm going to go in here now and I'm going to choose switch, and I'm going to hang a switch right on the wall like that, another one here, and another one by this door. And I'm going to go ahead and link up this switch with that light by using the connection. I simply start with the electrical, holding down my left mouse button. I drag and drop it to where I want it to go, and it places a line there. That was kind of hard to see, so let's do it here. Switch to light, light to light, and then light to, well, let's say this light, and then light back to this switch. Now watch what happens when I connect it to this switch. Whoop, absolutely nothing. Pretty cool. Let's try again. There it goes. And it now becomes a 3 switch, or a 3-way switch. You also have the ability to click on those connection lines and drag them in any direction, creating a different type of arc. You can even make a specialty arc by dragging it like this, just to kind of get it out of the way of where it might be in. Like, we don't want it to be on that word. I want to draw it out like that for attention. And there we go. Nice clean lines of switches. So that's been the electrical tool. It's pretty basic, pretty straightforward, and if you need a custom electrical item, again, hit the library, go down to exactly what you're looking for, grab it, and place it in the plan. If it is an electrical item, it should show up as red or on the same layer. Because again, in the defaults layer, if we were going to the electrical, we'll notice that it's always red set as the default. Of course, you can change that if you like to. You can also change the thickness. When you're doing plan styles and you want to show the electrical, I like to raise this up to, say, 10. That way it shows very specifically, hey, this is where all the electrical is, and it's a nice, thick, long layer. Okay, that's been messing with electrical with Chief Architect version 10, only here at ChiefTutor.com. Hello and welcome back to ChiefTutor.com. In this video we'll be discussing countertop edges. There is a way to do a custom edge for a countertop, and this comes in handy when you're trying to make a special bar top, or a customer ordered a special OG design on their edge, which is kind of neat. So there's a lot of little cool things the countertop option can do, so we're just going to cover them real quick. I'm going to go ahead and show you what we have now, which in the last video I was making a countertop here, and a custom countertop for our bar. And it just has a 180 roll, just a simple basic roll. And that comes standard in their options, because they have, if you click into here for their edge molding, quite a few different edges to choose from. And you'll notice they're all two-dimensional shapes. And basically, if you want to make your own, that's pretty much all you have to do. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn on the CAD tools. Now you can go to CAD and just grab them, but since I'm working in them, I like to see them. So I'm going to right-click on any one of my icons here, and this pops up. And if I go down to CAD configuration and left-click one time, it'll change my icons to the CAD, which is nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to use the arc tool, and I'm going to make an arc like this. And then I'm going to make another one like this. And I'm not really worried too much about the dimensioning of it right now. I just want to get kind of the shape and the style. Go around like so. I'm going to take the straight tool. I don't know, go like that. Go up like this. And if I did it correctly and connected all edges, when you select it, it should go gray in the middle. You should see a different change of the color. If all the edges are not correctly attached, then you won't get this coloring shape here. So, okay, so let's take this bad boy and, I don't know, let's shape it just a little bit. Let's shape it like so. Maybe shape it down. Maybe shape that down a bit. Not so high of an arch. Okay, that looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and save it. I'm going to click on it one time, and I'm going to add it to the library. And I'm going to go to my libraries, go into CAD Objects. This is a folder I've created so far. And in CAD Objects, I'm going to name it, let's name it Really Cool Edge. Yeah, that's a really cool edge. Okay, it's in the system. I clicked OK and it's saved. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because I don't really need it. And then I'm going to double click on my countertop. And yeah, I'm going to go to that molding edge, and I'm going to delete the one that's there, and I'm going to add a new one. Go up to my libraries, my CAD objects, and look for my really cool edge. Click OK. Now I'll notice right away, excuse me, I notice right away that the height is 40 and the width is 130. Well, that's crazy. So really all I need is 1.5 inch countertop. So I'm going to say 2 just to go a little bit bigger than normal. And the width, maybe 3.5 going out, maybe. I'll notice the offset button. That sets it higher or lower, but I'm just going to leave it at 0 for now. Click OK. Now there we go. It went ahead and generated out the few inches that I set it to be. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what it's done. And there's my edge, as you can see. It's pretty sweet. And it'll basically follow any shape you can draw, which is really nice. And then you simply grab the color and apply it to the edge. And there you have a nice little bar top. Now in this case I can even customize it because it goes through the faucet. I don't even, I obviously don't want to do that, so while I'm in CAD mode, which is nice, I can select the countertop and I'm going to hit this break line, and I'm going to break it here, and let's break it here, and let's just pull it back just a bit. Let's see what happened there. Oh, nice, huh? So little custom things, fun things you can do just to show your clients that you actually are very talented. And if you do find that you do need to offset it a bit, for instance, the countertop, if I were to offset it like, let's say 1 inch, I can see that it created that 1 inch drop in there. Kind of hard to see, but look at it, see as it drops in there. Okay, so let's go to 0, back to 0, because it's the same find on 0, and there we go. And let's see what else we can do. I am going to go back to my normal configuration, and I'm going to use my blue camera and render high view and spin in and take a look at my nice countertop edge that I've created. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. And there's one last tool for the countertop, and that is to make a custom hole. So I'm going to click on that and go ahead and make a custom hole. And basically, as long as you draw in the countertop, it'll make a hole in that countertop. And now you can simply take your wonderful island, pick it up like a briefcase, carry it to the job site, and drop it in place. Now how's that for quality? Huh? Chief Architect. X1 training at chieftutor.com. Thanks guys. Talk to you soon. Welcome back to chieftutor.com. In this video we'll be discussing how to best make an island for either your kitchen cabinets or just island cabinets floating out in the middle of nowhere. They're always fun. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click on the base cabinet tool and I'm going to throw together some cabinets. Say about 4 of them. Looks good. And I'm going to take my camera view and I'm just going to look at it. And you'll notice that it removes the toe kick on both the front and the back, so it's assuming you don't want it up against a wall, so you must be designing an island. Okay, so I'm going to also take the cabinets and I'm going to click some on the back side. Also notice that Chief Architect was smart enough to realize to reverse these. This is the arrows and it shows you which way the cabinets are facing. So I got some in front and some in the rear. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a 2-level island. So what I want to do is I want to reduce this down to about 12 inches. And I could probably do this all at once, but knowing me, I'm slow, so I'm going to do one at a time there. But now let's do it all at once. I'm going to select the first one, left mouse button, click it one time, hold down the shift on the keyboard, and select the other ones I want in the run. Click open, and change them all to 42 inches in height. And then, now that the cabinet is 42 inches high and the others are 36, on the back side here, you don't really need a drawer on the top, or at least I don't want to design one, so I'm going to remove it. Click OK. I'm going to back out of the plan, and let's take a look at what happened. I just changed the heights. Now you notice the little thing going on here, that's because those cabinets were not straight, and you can tell because Chief gives you those lines. So what I'd like to do is, let's just try to figure out what it was the Chief didn't like. I'll butt that one up against there, that one up against there. It looks like I got it. And there we go. There's my island. I'll also come over to the side and you'll notice my toe kick is flush down. What if I'd like it recessed like the others? No problem. Double click it and click flat sides, and it automatically reduces the toe kick on the sides that are open, thereby allowing the island to just wrap around. Click flat sides. We're good. Now I'm going to do it to these two, and I'm going to try to do it all at the same time. I'm going to select this one, hold down Shift, keyboard, select that corner one, open it up, flat sides, bam, there we go. Look at that beauty. Very nice. Also notice on the back side there that I have doors facing the wrong way. So let's go ahead and correct those. I'm going to go to the elevation tool and run it across my cabinets just so I can see them. Select this, select the door, make that a left. Double click the same here, hit the door, demand it to be left. There, that looks a little bit more accurate. And there is a simple island I just designed. And again, let's go ahead and just delete the cabinets we don't need. And we can view this bad boy in all its glory. Look at that. Pretty nice. Now, let's change some things on the front. For instance, I want to make this a sink cabinet with double doors. And I'm going to make this one just a full height. This one I want to make it a set of drawers. Select the door, tell it to be a drawer, say add new, drawer, make it 6 inches, click OK, force that one that's highlighted to be 6 inches, and it adjusts perfectly. And this last one, what should we do with this last one? Well, why don't we see if we can do something unique. Why don't we turn this one, we'll click on doors, specialty, seems nice, and how about a basket? Yeah, basket seems good. So we will specify shelves at 0. And click OK. And there, put in a basket for me. Oh, notice my handle on it. We don't want that. So the hardware on the door is none. So we don't really need that. Okay. There's a nice special island. Simple, clean, and easy. And the only thing left to do now is I wanted to put a sink in this. So I'm going to go to Fixtures, Interior. I'm going to scroll down here to Plumbing. And let's go into sinks. Bar sinks seems obvious. With fixtures, sounds good. Gonna scroll through. That's the one I like. Click it in and bada boom, there we go. There is my kitchen island. Looks a little funny, so I'm just going to refresh the screen in hopes that it'll fix it. And it didn't fix this back edge, but we will on the next version when we discuss the countertops. But that's been making a kitchen island using Chief Architect X1 only here at ChiefTutor.com. Hello and welcome back to ChiefTutor.com, messing with kitchen islands for Chief Architect X1. In the last video we created this wonderful kitchen island, which I know you're excited. Are you excited? No. Okay, so let's go ahead and pimp it out just a bit further. What I'd like to do now is add a countertop to the back side because we have that 2-layer island there. So I'm going to click on this tool, the base cabinet tool, and I'm going to go down to custom countertops. Click OK. And now I'm going to take my cursor. I'm going to start in the corner of any corner of the island, doesn't matter which. Hold down the left mouse button, drag out, and let go. And you make a countertop. And then I'm going to stretch this countertop just a little bit beyond the measure of the cabinet. So, there's a little bit of an overhang. If it's too much, I'm going to drag it back just by eyeball, making it look good. And that was a little too much too. Just a 1-inch deal like that. I also only want it 2 feet deep, so if I select on the back edge, it gives me a dimension. I click on the dimension, I can force it to 2 feet, which is great. Now I want to do like, let's do a little arch right here. It might be kind of cool. A little, create a little detail. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on this arch tool that pops up. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and cut it to the areas we want it to arch to. So I'm going to cut here and use the cut tool again. I'm going to cut here. Then I'm going to tap on the last bar, the middle bar, the longest bar, and then hit the arch button. And see, it created a nice arch for me. Go back to view, take a look, nice little arch. I'm going to double click on the countertop, and I have the countertop specifications that pops up. Now you'll notice I have these other lines popping through from the existing countertop. But if I were to set the height, so I'm going to uncheck this, and I'm going to set it to 43 inches high. Hit tab. Then I'm going to go to the edge molding, click on add edge, and go to edge moldings, get the 180 roll. Now I've changed a couple things. I've changed the height and I've changed the edge on it. Click OK. What happens is it brought it up, so I'm not messing with the countertop underneath it. It's just a little bit higher, so it's great. There's other ways to do it, like you can select the cabinet and delete out the height of the countertop, but this one was just easier. So I'm going to select the color with the eyedropper and apply it to my edge. And now I have a nice countertop overhang. And it looks like I have like a double one showing through, so that's an extra added plus. You know, you never know. I can double click on it at any time and bring it down. So let's go for 42 point, whoop, here we go. Well, I mistyped that. 42.25 inches. How about that? Click OK. Lowers it a little bit more. Now it's not so pronounced and popping through. Looks good. Lines come back here and there, but they definitely won't come back in the high render view, which is important for the client. Everything looks nice and clean right there. Okay, so now that's been messing with the edge there. Let's take it one step further. I'm going to go to the camera view here. And I'm going to notice I have a shaker, door style, and drawer style going on. But I got nothing on the sides here. Now there's a couple of different ways to put the design on the sides like you have on the cabinet. But what I like to use is just the polyline solids, because those are such easy tools to use. So I'm going to use your elevation tool. I'm going to go up to the side of a cabinet. And I'm going to notice I have this polyline tool, or primitive tool, with all these the polyline solids I could choose from. Well, in this case, just one, the elevation. So I'm going to click on that one, and I am going to, let's see, what am I going to do? I am going to start about there and drag down to about there. And then I'm going to use the same cut tool by selecting the edge I want to mess with and cut it right about there. And bring this guy up right about there. Now let's bring him in a little closer. Now, what I've done already might just be enough for the client. Well, you know what? Let's bring it down. I'm going to take that back so the client can see it better. Bring that in. A little testing. You can mess around with this all day, I guess, to try to get it right. But I'm just going to try to do this quick and fast. What I'm doing is I'm basically creating a pattern for the side. So now when we look at this on the side, we can see that it would be great if this was in, right? So that's exactly what we want to do. But that's the area into which we want to manipulate the polyline solid. And of course we want to match so it all looks good. So I'm going to eyedropper and place it in. There we go. Now I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to click in here. Select this polyline solid again, bring it back, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing with the polyline solid and give it a nice good amount of space. And then here I might have to go a little further. Take the cut tool, cut about here, drag that up, and then I'm going to open it and say that this is a hole in the polyline solid. And click OK. Click here, and I've created my own little pattern for the side. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And now you can see, whoops, I did something, I'm not sure what, so I'm going to undo. grab the camera tool, and now you can see a little detail on the side. Now there's many ways we could do this. We can also face a cabinet on the side and reduce the depth of the cabinet to 1 inch, see the countertop, to see the door and drawer detail. But this is just a little something extra I add every once in a while, just so a customer knows that, hey, there's going to be some detail on the side. Okay, and there we go. That's been messing with cabinets. Kitchen Islands, Chief Architect, X1, only here, that's right, at ChiefTutor.com. Look forward to training some more. See you soon. Hello Pat, this is Dave from ChiefTutor.com. Okay, I'm going to walk you through those floors. Let's see if we can get started here. Here's the website I sent you, the Mirage. I navigated over to one of the wood species. I'm going to just click this. Right click on the image, choose Save Image As, and I'm just going to put it on my desktop. It looks like I've already saved it there, so I'm just going to save it again. And I'm pretty much done with this. Don't need to use the internet anymore. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to double click on the image. Now my program opens it up in Microsoft Office Picture Manager. You can use many different programs to crop the picture, which I'm sure you're aware of. So I'm just going to take this and crop it to where I think would look best. Crop that out and crop that little circle of white out there. Let's see, get it right on the money like that. Seems good. There we go. I'm just going to save it. Now, the way to make this work in Chief will not work with just this sample, because this edge will line up with this edge when it goes to wrap the floor, as you know, so it looks kind of funky. So the way to solve this problem is to use a program like Easy123 or PaintShop Pro or Adobe Photoshop. And basically you take your sample as you have it, you copy and make a paste copy of it, so you have two samples. Then take one of them, use your canvas in large size, and just enlarge it. Then I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to take the image and I'm going to mirror it. So now my left side matches over here and will match up with the right side of that one. So I'm going to copy this one, click in here, move in a bit, and hit the paste tool, and be careful to line it up as close and as accurate as possible, because that's going to be the hard part. And there I go, I think I got it. Okay, then I'm just going to take the selection of the overall of the wood there, copy and paste it, see if it looks pretty good. I think it does. I'll go File, Save As, and we'll call it a JPEG. Image 9 is fine. Then I'm going to open up Chief Architect. Whoops, it looked like I had a question there for that picture, so I'm just going to downsize this, click yes. That's all saved. Yes, it's all saved. Okay, let's get me back to Chief Architect. So we'll go in here and we'll draw the walls. Nice big long walls like a hallway, bowling alley, whatever we need. Okay, hit the color map. And I'm going to show you a couple things that I do right away. And that is when I want the wood floor to change colors, I'll use the rainbow tool, go in here and select it, go to the texture and bleed it. And bleed it to maybe a color I want, like a light color, so it changes the flow of it. Or right away I'll go and hit like a real dark color. And that way it really changes the wood floor the easiest way in Chief Architect. Using their pre-made samples, you can't really screw up because it's already done and it's done correctly. So you just adjust the color the way you want it. So let's go ahead and make ours now. I'm going to go to my library, click New, call it Flooring Dave, hit the spray can again, find Flooring Dave, and then there's other ways to do this, but I like to do it this way. Hit that material one, go to texture, hit browse, going to go to image 9. We're going to set material using existing color. I'm not going to mess with the scale just yet because we want to make it as fun as possible. So I've got this color going, I've got the texture going. I'm just going to say OK, and I'm going to use this color right on the wood. And then I can manipulate it here. and let's say bring that up to 80, and bada boom, there's my floor, all patterned correctly, hopefully, with no extra lines in it. And as I'm getting inside that ceiling, which kind of sucks. Let's back it up and look this way, make sure we're all good. Yep, and sure enough, if you want to take that rainbow tool and bleed the color some more, it's no problem, because then you can change it to maybe something that you were after in the first place. And that's been Messing with Wood Floors here at ChiefTutor.com. Thanks so much for your question, Pat, and talk to you soon. Hello and welcome back to ChiefTutor.com. In this episode we'll be learning how to make specialty cabinets. So it can apply to either the base, the wall, or the tall cabinets. We're going to go ahead and just use base cabinets and see what we can do. I see I have my defaults all set up by double clicking on that. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and click a base cabinet in my drawing here. And I'm going to click it one time and open it up. And notice that it has some functions up here by the special. And if I do the drop down menu, I can learn certain things, like one is a corner. And it says this cabinet width must be greater than its depth before you can change it into a corner cabinet. Well, basically what it said it was trying to do is put in a cabinet in your inside corner. So we're going to do just that. We're going to draw a corner wall, and I'm going to make sure my width is larger than my depth. And I'm going to double click it and change corner again. And notice it makes it into a nice corner cabinet. Now there's a couple ways to do that. One is just the way we saw. The other one is just to take a corner that you already have drawn in your drawing, click on base cabinet, scroll to the corner, left click one time on the inside corner, and Chief automatically recognizes that you're putting a base cabinet in a corner and gives you a corner unit. Kind of nice. Let's try some more of these goodies. If I double click a normal and we've seen corner, let's look at right in cabinet. And notice what happened to the cabinet. It kind of filled it out to the right, which looks kind of nice. Now usually in a scenario like this you don't have drawers, because obviously look at the way the angle of the cabinet is, and of course you couldn't put in a set of drawers. So I like to just select it, delete it, and there we go. And so we don't confuse the cabinet maker, we don't need to put the hinges on, because Chief just defaultly throws them left or right. Even if you choose double door, it does something weird there. So I like to just choose which way I want it to open, then go to my hardware tab and select none. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've done here. And we'll notice that it's a nice corner cabinet. Okay, let's check out some of these other cool options. One is, I'm going to get rid of that, and we'll pull out this wall a little further, grab another cabinet, slap it in there, double click it, and we have the right and we have the left, obviously, same thing. We also have right radius, where radius is the cabinet. Pretty nice. Again, you probably don't want the drawer, so just delete it away. It looks good all by itself. Let's go to the next one. We'll double click this guy. We see that we have radius left and right. We also have peninsula radius. When you click on that, it makes the whole end radius, so it's like the end of a cabinet run. So go ahead and just kind of show you what I mean. I'm going to take a cabinet, I'll face it like that, and usually as cabinets are coming around and it stops, that's how it ends. Just like that. It's a nice finish touch. Okay, so then we'll check out a few other things they have here. If we go to angle front, we'll notice that the left depth and right depth windows highlighted, so we can change them. So I'm going to keep the left at 24, and I'm going to reduce this one all the way down to, say, 6 inches. That's the right side. Click OK, and there it gave me a nice right angle cabinet. It's kind of nice too, so you can customize it and make it fit any shape or size. Great for going around outside corners. If you think about it, you can make the other cabinet butt up nicely into the corner. So that was that option. Let's go ahead and place the base cabinet, double click. So we've gone through all of them except for bow front. Let's click on bow front. And again, the front just gets bowed out per the radius. I'm going to make it a little bit more pronounced, 6 inches. Click OK, and we'll notice I got just a little bit of a bow out there. And again, I'm going to take a cabinet, Now let's grab another one here. Slap it on both sides. Oh, I didn't line up, so I'm just going to try to line it up myself, and bada boom. There we go. It just does a nice little bow front to it. So that's been working with specialty cabinets in Chief Architect X1. Remember, you can utilize the same type of angles with the wall cabinets and the tall cabinets. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next video. Hello and welcome back to ChiefTutor.com training videos for Chief Architect version 10. In this video we'll be discussing all the little cool tricks we can do with windows, and some of the most prominent things that people like to do with the Chief Architect windows is try to create a pass-through on the inside of a house. So here I have a house where I have an inside wall. There's that door that you were looking at, and there's a window. And let's say we want to make a pass-through in this wall. So what we want to do is go up to the window, and we can click on the interior wall with the left mouse button, and you'll notice this error that pops up and says, hey, you're trying to create a window in an interior wall. Do you want to do this? Say yes, okay. And it places the window in. Now if I were to click on this window, I grab it right away. Now let's say I take it to fix glass, and notice I can still click on it, and it grabs the window for me each time. If I wanted to click on this doorway and I click, I don't get the door. See, it misses it. I have to click on its actual casing to get the door frame. So we know there's actually nothing in that doorway. There's something in here because obviously I can select it. So we want to remove the glass and the frame and trim around. So I'm going to double click this. I'm going to go to the sash and frame, and under the side sash width, change it to 0, and it removes the glass. Then go down here and remove the frame width as well, so make that 0. And I can take one last step and remove the trim molding, but let's do that next. So here we're going to click OK, and now we have a window pass through. And notice I cannot select the glass, so I have to select the trim. Now if I open up the trim and in the casing suppress it on both interior and exterior and remove the sills, so now there's absolutely nothing there but the pass-through. You'll notice now I can't select anything because I can't even get to anything. It's just created the pass-through. So the only way to do this now is to leave that window there and in plan view edit the window. But that's the simple and easiest way, and it makes a perfect pass-through. There's also another cool little option for windows, and that is when it comes to roofs. Now I'm going to go ahead and build a roof on my house here. And let's say I wanted a gable entrance over this window and this door. Well, I can do that relatively quickly by clicking on the window, and this tool pops up, gable over door or window. And when you click on it, it creates that line over the window. So let's go ahead and click here and click there, and we'll notice the line that it gave us. Now this is a gable line, and the gable line is telling the computer when you generate the roof again, put a gable over these two ends. So I'm going to go back to the roof tab, double click it, click here build roof planes, and click OK, and it built two gable ends. And you'll notice exactly where it puts it. So it intersects right here at the edge of where you put that line. So for instance, if I was to take this line and say bring it down to here, and again rebuild the roofs, it makes it bigger for me. And again, let's take a look at the effect it's giving us, which is great, simple, and easy to do. Obviously you wouldn't want to put gable over this end because there's already a roof going up, so there's no way for it to feed a gable. And notice the gable option is even gone. It doesn't even allow you to do that. But what's great too about this is you can now grab it and simply manipulate the roof and make it so it's easy to build a nice entrance into the house, putting down posts or columns or whatnot. And so that's been messing with the windows here at ChiefTutor.com. Thanks so much for joining.
Chief Architect X2 represents a significant number of new features for 3D architectural design. We're excited to share all of these new features with you in this summary video. Just prior to the release of Chief Architect X2, The company announced a new program called Support and Software Assurance. SSA provides several items including upgrades and online training video access. You can read these details on the website. For those that have Support and Software Assurance, we have placed all of our training videos online and they are now fully searchable. Beginning with Chief Architect version X2, our products are now designed environmentally friendly. The software is available via download with an easy-to-use software lock security mechanism that can be easily transferred between computers. Many of the new X2 features you'll easily discover as you work in the new version, and many you may not even notice, but there are subtle changes that may help you to be more productive. You can review the complete X2 feature list and watch the individual training videos on our website. Let's get started and explore the summary of new options and features introduced in Chief Architect X2. We have expanded the number of rendering techniques to 9 and made these techniques available in both the perspective and orthographic 3D cameras. To apply the rendering techniques, you can choose one of the styles and see the different effects. You will find a new Rendering Techniques option dialog that can set the various options. For duotone, you can set a light and a dark color. This works similarly for the technical illustration, and you also change the color blending and line thickness. With the painting technique, you will find several options you can adjust as well as an overall style. This should be a great feature to explore. Like painting, the watercolor technique has several options you can adjust as well as the ability to place line drawing on top of the rendering to provide an additional artistic look. Finally, the new line drawing technique is a simple render view that you can use with a variety of line options. With the addition of all the new rendering techniques, you will find creating the right view for your clients now gives you an array of options. Have fun exploring these new rendering techniques. We have also added a new 3D camera tool to auto-generate exterior elevations and room elevations with a single click. After you have your walls in place, use this tool to quickly place your exterior elevation cameras. You will find an option for automatic framing which you can turn on for walls, floors, ceilings, and roofs. Your framing will automatically update as your design changes. There is a steel framing option for walls, headers, joists, and rafters. The steel framing will automatically create the C-channel and U-channel shaped framing members and automatically creates the framing members for typical commercial framing practices. Another new framing option is the ability to expose rafter tails and custom rafter tail cuts. You can choose from a molding profile in the library or draw your own rafter profile. In addition to rafter tails, you can now control the display of roof fascia and generate subfascia framing to more accurately show construction details. You can specify symbols to attach to a ceiling or roof, such as a solar panel, and choose an option to rotate and match slope. Flush-mounted electrical items will also auto-rotate to match a pitch, such as a recessed light in a vaulted ceiling. And electrical items and lighting are now fully resizable. There are several new features for cabinets and manufacturer catalogs to support our new Chief Architect Interiors product offering. All of the cabinets and new interior features are also included in the full version of Chief Architect. Included with Support and Software Assurance is the ability to download manufacturer catalogs for doors, windows, and cabinets from our website. These catalogs, while manufacturer-specific, also have the advantage of remaining parametric for the actual object, so you don't have to keep choosing from the library as you resize your objects. Let's explore the Huntwood cabinet catalog that I downloaded from the Chief Architect website and show how to use manufacturer cabinets. As we browse the manufacturer's cabinet catalog, you will see accessories, door and drawer styles, the cabinet boxes, colors, and wood species. I will place a standard base cabinet and then center it on our window. You will notice there is not a defaulted countertop, just as you would actually receive from the manufacturer. Making changes to the cabinet works similarly to non-manufacturer cabinets. Browse to the door and drawer styles and use the material painter to apply them to the cabinet. Now I will choose a wood species and apply it the same way. And finally, I'll choose a color and apply it using the blend or stain effect with the material painter. All of the changes are representative of the manufacturer's cabinet. As we examine the materials list, you will find we have made several changes to improve the details you can obtain for your cabinets. For each unique cabinet, you will see the cabinet box listed and then indented below with a decimal number with all the components we added to the cabinets for the wood species, colors, doors, and drawers. If you need to add a custom item to a cabinet, choose the Components tool and add it. After all the cabinets are placed, I'll create a custom countertop over the cabinet since it may be important for your 3D client presentations. Note you can toggle the countertop layer on and off as you need. When I generate the cabinet schedule, you will see the dimensions are now displayed for the width, depth, and height of the cabinet. If you are designing the cabinets while using a manufacturer specification book as a guide, you may find that adding the labels of the final cabinets is a helpful reference in your bid process. You can specify that information in the cabinet label. Labels are not necessarily automatic, since Chief Architect allows you to resize your cabinets, and many manufacturers may only need dimensions and other details found in the materials list. In addition to supporting manufacturer catalogs, you will find that the new cabinet display options conform to NKBA standards for countertops and line styles. Further, there are a number of dimension tools to help create elevation views for your cabinet drawings. In this example, you can see we have the center line for the appliances and other items called out with dimensions. There is now an option to use cabinet fillers and end panels. The materials list is also updated to reflect individual items such as fillers and end panels for the cabinets, and allows you to assign additional items such as stains and finishes. You can use the materials list along with the cabinet schedule to provide a detailed quote to a customer or request a bid from the cabinet manufacturers. With the introduction of Chief Architect X2, there are schedules for plants and room finish. If we explore the room finish schedule, you can define the various columns you want displayed in the schedule and then place the schedule in your construction drawings or use for your bid process. With pony walls, you can dimension to the lower part of the wall, control the display, and show or hide openings for doors and windows. Door and window schedules will list objects in pony walls even if the display setting is set to hide openings. You will find improved dimension tools with several new features: accuracy to 1 and 128 inch, feedback and previews when creating dimension lines, formatting, and more. With the new mass import option for symbols, you can import an entire group or folder of symbols by selecting the files and then importing. For example, if you download several Kohler fixtures from the 3D Google warehouse, you can then import all of those items into Chief Architect with one import process. You will find all of your new items in an import folder that you can then move to another category if you choose. Exporting items from the library works in a similar way. Copy the item to the export area and then choose Export to create a Chief Architect library file. You will notice that you can rotate, spin, and zoom the library item, allowing you to preview before placing them into your plans. You will find thousands of new or updated library objects with the latest styles. SSA members will also find several new catalogs on the website to download into the Chief Architect library. The library in Chief Architect X2 has been greatly improved for organization, and speed in searching is significantly faster. You can now import all layers, including elevation contour data and terrain perimeter, in one step. There is a new Distribute Objects tool that you can use to distribute any items, such as a plant or CAD object along a line or within a polyline. There is now a Rich Text Object tool that you can use to format your text with a variety of options, and you can also copy and paste text to and from external applications, and the rich text format will be preserved. In the CAD menu, you will find a line style editor that you can use to create your own custom line styles, such as an audio-video line, and save it to the library. With the new Nudge tool, you can use the arrow keys to move a selected object in small increments. As you create your layout pages, you will find new tools to reorganize the order of your pages. There are many more features and improved tools in Chief Architect X2. For a more detailed review, please view the detailed list or watch the individual videos available on our website. Enjoy using the new Chief Architect X2. We hope you find the new features improve your productivity. Hello, and welcome to the Chief Architect Animated Tour. In this animated tour, I'll help you understand how the program works so you can start creating your own designs using the trial version of Chief Architect. In the next few minutes, you're going to see how easy it is to use Chief Architect's powerful design and drafting tools. As you can see, Chief Architect has a friendly look and feel using standard architectural objects. At the top you have the menus, and below that you have the toolbar buttons. To make Chief Architect even easier to use, we provide detailed online help and online video tutorials with the program that will walk you step by step through every feature, and priority technical support for all users with support and software assurance. As we use Chief Architect to create a sample house, I'll review the steps used in the design process. So let's get started and design our house. While the 3D modeling tools are very valuable in Chief Architect, you will also find powerful building and design tools to produce plan sets or construction drawings to help you be efficient and productive. Let's explore a few. Typically, roofs can be one of the more complex tasks when you build a house. Chief Architect makes it easy with its Auto Roof tool. Choose the Build Roof option and the program will automatically generate a hip roof. All of these roof planes are fully editable so you can produce just about any style. Further, you can use the automatic tools to build a variety of roof styles, or you can use the manual tools and build just about any style of roof, including gable, shed, curved, and many more. You may find that having a split screen with both the 2D and 3D view up at the same time is useful when you're designing a custom roof. You'll notice the program automatically adds features to your roof like fascias, gutters, and roof returns. If you look at the Roof Options dialog, you'll find that you can control all the options on how roof planes are built. You can set the pitch, including dual pitch roofs, overhang, raise of plate for energy heels, curved roof information, framing details, and much more. Ceiling tools are related and similar to the roofing tools in Chief Architect. The program automatically creates flat ceilings after your roof is generated. You can use the ceiling tools and create a variety of custom styles including cathedral, tray, coffered, barrel, and more. In this room, let's create a cathedral style by choosing the option to remove the ceiling in the room. Now let's place 2 ceiling planes in the room and set the pitch lower than the roof. In the 3D view, you can see our ceiling plane show the new vault in the room. Finally, let's turn the vault to a barrel-style ceiling. You can create just about any style ceiling for your design with Chief Architect. With the roof in place, let's place a dormer with the automatic dormer tool. Notice that the program placed the walls, windows, and the roof plane for the dormer in one easy step, and all structurally correct. You can copy, replicate, and modify this dormer in several ways, such as the roof style. Now let's add a basement floor to our house with the Build Foundation tool. The program can generate a crawl space, a slab, pier, or custom-style foundation such as a step. Further, you can choose wall styles like standard concrete or ICF, define the footing information, slab thickness, and more. For now, I will set my wall height to 9 feet and let the program derive the foundation from the first floor. Once the foundation is built, notice that our floor indicator has changed to the basement floor with the designation of 0 here in the floor indicator. Chief Architect allows you to build up to 30 floors. Building additional floors follows similar steps as building a foundation. You can also copy, paste, and swap floors for multi-level developments. With our floors and foundation in place, let's automatically generate the framing. In the Build Framing dialog, you will notice the tabs that allow you to choose commonly used defaults for each framing category you can modify for your project's needs. As you navigate through the different framing tabs, you will see there is a lot of detail you can define for your framing options, including the dimensions of the framing members, type of framing member, and much more. For now, I will accept my defaults and choose to build the wall and roof framing. The framing that Chief Architect automatically generated makes it easy for you to develop framing plans. And, of course, all of the framing members can be manually edited as needed for customizing your designs. I will open the framing for this wall, and you can edit each framing member. I can also add new framing, such as wall blocking. Chief Architect supports both hand and truss framing. You may want to build the roof as we did with the automatic hand framing and have a truss company design the trusses, or you can design them yourself in the program. In fact, let's use our truss tool and place the floor trusses. I'll set my default to a 22-inch truss and then draw my first truss across the floor. Now I'll replicate that truss across the rest of the floor. Now you can see the trusses in 3D, and if you browse the CAD details, you will see a truss schedule that is generated for your trusses. You can easily create electrical, plumbing, and HVAC plans with Chief Architect. Before we start, let's turn off the display of the framing layer that we just created by going to the Layer Display and scroll down, and we'll remove the check marks for these framing items. You will notice that Chief Architect is completely layer-based and allows you to display only those items that you need so you can focus on your plans without distraction. Further, you can define entire layer sets to make switching between floor plans, framing, electrical, and other views easy for your work environment. To place our outlets, I'll use the Auto Place Outlets tool and click in a room. The program automatically places outlets per typical residential code. Of course, you can arrange the outlets in any position you need to by clicking and dragging. Speaking of residential code, included with Chief Architect is a link to the International Residential Code Checklist, a great quick reference tool for your residential design questions. You can also validate your plan's common design issues with our Plan Check feature. Now that we have our outlets placed, let's add a few lights, place some switches, and connect them with the Circuit tool. Notice that the last switch automatically updated to a 3-way switch. I can create a complete electrical, plumbing, and HVAC plan using the tools within the program. And if I want to see the effects of my lights, I can choose from a library of lights within the program and create an impressive rendering complete with shadows.
Welcome to ChiefExperts.com. Dan Bauman here. I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about some of the mistakes that people tend to make with Chief Architect, and they're not necessarily mistakes that people are making. Sometimes they're just oversights, things that haven't been looked into. So one of the things that tends to get overlooked in my many years of teaching people Chief Architect is the settings and preferences. The preferences are what makes the program function. It affects how the program functions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into preferences. We're going to click on that little P right there, and that will open up the preference settings. And once we're in here, we'll take a look at a few of the things that you might want to consider changing. One of the first things that I always look at and change whenever I get a new copy of Chief Architect is the contextual menus. Now, contextual menus are these menus that pop down whenever you right-click on something. Okay, so it takes a little bit of getting used to right-click with your mouse button to select things, but that's the pick button in Chief Architect. It's used to select anything in the plan without having to go up and select any of the icons up here. So what I like to do in preferences is I like to click this thing right here called click twice to display. What that means is that the first time I select something, I can click on things and it will not give me that contextual menu. But if I want that menu, and I do sometimes, is I will click twice with my mouse button on that item and the menu will pop down. So that the menu sometimes gets in the way when I'm trying to work on things and dimension things, and it's a bit of a pain. So I like to have it so I can control when I get to see it instead of having it pop down every time. The next thing that you might want to take a look at would be the toolbar settings. Now, if you've come from older versions of Chief Architect, you might be used to the icons that when you click on like the wall icon, then you would get a bunch of child icons over here with the different things that you could do for the wall or the windows or any of the other different things in the program. This setting here will change it back to the way it used to be if you like that format. Generally, I like the new format where the items drop down from the icon. Just makes it a little easier to find the things that we're working on. All right, another thing that I like to set would be the colors. All right, the first two things that I will always change, I'll always change these, is the handle fill color and the selection fill color. I just don't like the light gray. It's kind of hard to see. So what I will do is I'll click on the handle fill button, and I like to select red, and then I'll click on the selection fill color, and I like to select pink and make it a little bit lighter. I don't like it really dark, but pink is really easy to see on a white background. and then I'll click OK. And then I'll also use that fill in the render views when I'm overviewing render views. And if we take a look at that now, again, when I right click on something, I don't get the menu, and you'll see now that we're getting red handles on things. It's just a little easier to see and pick up. The other thing, when you click on rooms, see how you get the pink fill color? It's very easy to see and distinguish exactly what it is that you're clicking on. So you can play with the different colors to see what you like, but it just visually makes it a little easier to get to the things on your screen that you want to. Another item that I like to change is the library browser. The program comes set up by default with the library browser here on the side of the screen. And that's fine. If that works for you, leave it the way it is. But what I like to do is make it big on my screen so that I can see things easier. And sometimes I'll even put the library browser off the screen onto a second monitor that I have. So what I will do is I will click on this button right here called Stacked, and I will also click on Disable Docking. I'll click on those two buttons and I'll click OK. And then I will go over here and I will grab, you notice I grabbed that at the very top of the item. There's two lines, and I just grabbed those two lines, and then I pulled it over onto the screen. Once I have it on the screen, I'm going to take it, pull the corners, and make it bigger on the screen, and then I'll adjust the different viewports right here. And then every time you click on something now, you're going to get a bigger view of it. Plus I could grab this and pull it off on a different screen and keep it open all the time while I'm working on my plan. So it just makes it really easy to find the different items in the library that way. Okay, another preference setting that I like to work with, and there's just a few that you want to be aware of. So you don't have to make changes to all of these things. All right, so one of the things that you want to go to is architectural. All right, there's some different things here, but architectural has a setting right here. These first two settings I like to change. I will hit show same wall type, I will turn on, and I will turn off the select room before the wall in 3D. Let me show you what happens here. So when I turn those on, when I click on a wall now, you'll notice that I get a little diamond at the end of the wall. Okay, what that is a handle that I can use to pull the end of the wall and make a copy of it. Okay, so I could take that, I could grab that diamond, make a copy of it. Okay, so you don't have to go back into the wall mode all the time to get the end of the handle, to get the end of the wall. You can still use the one on the end of the wall to rotate the wall. So that's what that setting does. It allows you to make copies of the end of the wall. Now if we go into a 3D view, Chief is great because you can now grab the views and you can pull rooms up and down. But the way the program comes set up, you got to be careful with it, because if you're pulling these rooms up and down, you're going to mess up your whole 3D model. So all if you bring it up a 3D view and you click on it and you accidentally click on one of these buttons, you might be changing your floor and ceiling height. So by turning that one button off under architectural, all it does is it selects the wall now instead of the room, which is a little safer. Again, you don't want to be pulling the tops and bottoms of walls up any more than you have to. It's just not something that I recommend. That should be a last resort if you're having trouble with walls going in your plan. So you don't want to be doing that. Let's take a look at one other thing under Preferences. And if we go to the Edit area, remember we changed our handles to the color red? Well, under Edit, there's a thing called Edit Handle Size. And what I will do is bump that up to 6. And when we take a look at it now, when I click on these handles, you'll see that the little squares and triangles are a little bit bigger. They're easier to see. It's just easier to snap things to different items. So that's just a few of the things that you can change in the preference settings of Chief Architect. Come and join us at chiefexperts.com. More tips like this that you can use. We have complete training series, everything that you need to learn how to get Chief to work exactly the way you want to. This is Dan Bauman with chiefexperts.com signing off.